This is Jim, the Rocky Mountain Hi-Hat Phillips.
And this is Jimmy Reece.
And you're watching Urban Inc.
Don't wanna know about your scene. So can't you see that all your words are lost on me? I've been awake for this soul dream. Still a man. I won't change 'cause you said so.
Welcome, brothers and sisters. This is Urban Inc. out once again, Kings Park, Long Island. Tell us a little bit about this building, Jimmy.
All right, we are here at Building 7, which was the medical building, built in 1966. This building, unfortunately, has been decapitated. Its most famous feature was a giant cube, which was visible from all over the neighborhood. Eventually, it wound up covered in graffiti, and they tore it off, which is sad because it was its most distinctive feature. The building is torn apart by the kids, the vandals. You wouldn't recognize the inside of this place. It's been basically destroyed. This building is also known to have a morgue. This building only lasted 30 years when the whole place shut down in 1996.
We took a wrong turn back on the interstate. So open up your eyes way before it gets too late. Now run, man, there's no way you can hit the street lights running, don't give a damn. A simple explanation that you'll never find. Oh my God.
Urban Inc. still roaming the Kings Park Psychiatric Center. This is the building 21 and 22 complex that we've come up on now. Jimmy's the encyclopedia of knowledge of this place.
Well, folks, this is the where the patients stayed after they were dealt with, whether it was surgical, admittance, whatever the situation was. This is where they wound up coming. Buildings 21 and 22. They were broken up by gender.
When it all comes back to you, think, man, what you gonna say when it all falls away? Today, nothing ever found. Take a look around above the ground. There's no love out on the streets today.
This place is absolutely trashed. The buildings all were closed down in 1996, and over the last 30 years, they've been basically left at the hands of the kids, the vandals. You wouldn't recognize the inside of the places I've mentioned. There's graffiti everywhere. But however, the wildlife here, the nature, all the flowers, the trees, everything is completely out of control at this point. It's completely overgrown, and basically, God only knows what's been growing here.
Well, god damn! God damn! They're doing everything they can to keep everybody out. They're not gonna keep the hi-hat out.
They're gonna keep me out.
Wait, Jimmy.
Nope. What we got behind us here is Building 93 at the Kings Park Psych Center. A very famous patient once dwelled here. His name was Percy Crosby. He was a great artist. But he was basically Charlie Brown, Charles Schulz, before Charles Schulz. He had the #1 comic strip, the Sunday Funnies, if you will, from 1925 through almost the entire 40s. Sadly enough, from what was reported, he had a nervous breakdown and was put in this place. However, there are some other shady things about his life that make you wonder. During his comic strip run, he was taking on 2 major figures. He decided to take them on through his comic strips. FDR, the President of the United States during the time, and Al Capone. Let's go see if we can get a shot in the basement he used to paint. And his murals are still on the wall, probably heavily graffitied by the kids. But let's see if we can take a look. All right, folks, we are here. We have found the basement of Building 93, and we have found Percy Crosby's murals. Now, it may be hard to make out, but on the wall, Percy had drawn a woman sitting in a chair. Unfortunately, the kids have basically graffitied the tar out of this place and covered up most of his artwork. This is where Percy was allowed to go to during the day. He was allowed to come downstairs to the basement and paint. The man was a genius. His character, Skippy, not only was featured in the Sunday Funnies for basically 20 years, but was also the feature in a movie called Skippy in 1931 that actually won an Oscar.
God damn, son. Be careful.
Hello?
We are outside Building 15, better known as Wisteria Hall. Coincidentally, also the name of a great rock and roll band that you can find on YouTube. Jimmy might know a little bit about that. He knows a little bit more about this.
Well, this building is 80 years old as we stand here today. This was the violent ward. This is where the worst of the worst came.
I knew someone who worked here, and he said it was the worst job he ever had on the campus. No one wanted to work here. It was very difficult working under these conditions. So stay tuned as we show you what exactly happened inside Wisteria Hall. These buildings may be hollow,
But they are definitely not empty.
Holding up these walls. Holding up these walls.
Urban out doing the thing. Checking it out back inside Kings Park.
We are here inside Building 15, Wisteria Hall, at the Kings Park Psychiatric Center. This was the place where they held the most violent of the mentally disturbed. Let's take a look at what their sleeping quarters were like. What you guys are looking at here was probably a multiple flat for a couple of patients. They were put together like sardines in this place.
The little kids have taken over at this point with graffiti and whatnot, but man, this place is nice.
But you can see that their conditions were not exactly glorious. Again, we're on the 4th floor of Wisteria Hall, where they kept the most criminally violent, mentally incapacitated. I do know someone who worked here many, many years back. He was only here for about a year, and he said that when he was transferred out of here, it was one of the best days of his life. This building ran very hot during the summertime, and I heard that it really didn't do anything to help the temper of patients who were already compromised. Up here on the 4th floor of Wisteria Hall, we are now standing in one of the places where the patients were allowed to go and relax. It's like a breezeway of sorts.
It's like one of the old TV sections where they would bring the people out for they could get air, the sun. Definitely don't look like no fun to me. Inside Wisteria Hall. It's supposed to be the most haunted place here. We were here 6 months ago, and we heard what sounded like when you skip a rock across the pond, only somebody skipped a washing machine just a second ago. We're the only ones in here. And I heard something that sounded like a can being kicked below us on the stairs down there. So let's go take a look around and then go down and see if we heard anything. Something in that basement, y'all.
Yep. Right about now, my throat is closed tight, and Jim sensed something too in his chest, and there's definitely something downstairs. It's not always what you see, it's what you feel. Right about now, I feel like getting the hell away from here.
It was crazy. Last time we were here, like I said in the other video, you could hear what sounded like a really heavy piece of metal being dropped or thrown. There was a huge metallic bookcase that had been knocked over, and the dust around the bottom where it hit the ground, it was blowed out in such a way you could tell no one had been stepping around it since the last time we was here. The whole time, I thought there was something on the 3rd floor, and we should have went to the basement to begin with.
Sick and tired of expectations. Don't wanna know about your scene.